She left me for a coworker after my mom died. Now her life is falling apart and she wants back in. I'm 32, and I've been married to my wife, who's 27, for almost 6 years now. We've been together for a total of 8 years and 3 months, and we've lived together for the past 7. Honestly, I always thought things were solid between us. In my eyes, we were that couple, the kind that just works. We both had steady jobs, our own cars, a stable financial life, and we even bought a house together 5 years back. Then, in February 2022, my mom passed away out of nowhere. Heart attack. It shattered me. The months that followed were brutal, not just for me, but for my wife too. She was really close with my mom. When I say it was rough, I mean barely functioning kind of rough. In that 6-month stretch, we only went out twice. Most days, we just stayed in, curled up on the couch, watching TV. I wasn't in a good place, and yeah, I was struggling, but I honestly believed we'd get through it together. Then came what I now call D-Day. That was 5 weeks ago. My wife went out for drinks with 3 male coworkers. They were just hanging out at a spot 5 minutes from our place. I didn't think much of it. I said, cool, I'm gonna head to bed soon, and let it go. But then around 3:30 in the morning, she came home with all 3 of those guys. I know them, so that wasn't the weird part. What was weird was that she suddenly told me they were all heading out to the city. I wasn't thrilled, but I didn't stop her either. Everything in our city closes at 4 a.m., and it's only a 15-minute drive back home. But she didn't come back until 5:30. That's when my gut started buzzing. Up until that night, I never had any reason to doubt her, but something felt off. Then, for weeks ago, she left for the whole day on a Sunday. Told me she was going to some carnival with her mom. I didn't fully believe it, but what could I do? She even left without saying goodbye. I was in the shower at the time. Later that day, when she came home, she walked through the door in tears. My immediate reaction was concern. Honey, what happened? What's wrong? But instead of explaining, her very first words to me were, I want a divorce. We talked for a while after that, both of us emotional. I straight up asked her if she had been unfaithful. She denied it, said she hadn't done anything like that. What she did tell me was that she'd been unhappy for a while and wanted out. That hit me like a truck. She had never once said anything was wrong before. It felt like the floor dropped out from under me. After that conversation, she packed up and moved in with her mom. For days later, I saw her again. We had a dog, and neither of us could take care of it alone. Her mom's place didn't allow pets, so we arranged for the dog to stay with my aunt. When we met up for that, I confronted her again about the cheating. This time, she came clean. She admitted that she'd been involved with one of those guys from the night she went out drinking starting that week, right up until the moment she walked out. She said she thought she was in love with him. I asked her what was so special about this guy. All she said was, we have a good connection, a spark. That's all she gave me. She also mentioned that she felt like she was going through some kind of midlife crisis, even though she's not even 30 yet. Said she didn't know what she wanted from life anymore. To me, it sounded like she was spiraling. Out of the blue, she dyed her hair purple. Then she signed up for motorcycle lessons. It was like I didn't know her anymore. In that first week or two after she left, I tried reaching out. I tried to fix things. If reconciling is the right word, that's what I aimed for, but she shut it all down. Completely ignored any serious messages I sent her. If I sent something casual, she might respond, but the replies were short, cold, and just oozed arrogance. It's like she flipped a switch. I don't recognize her anymore. It's like her entire personality changed in just 1 week. She's been treating me like I'm a stranger, or worse, like I'm trash. Part of me wonders if this is some kind of defense mechanism, something to help her cope by shoving all the emotional mess under the rug. Or maybe she really has changed, and this is who she is now. I can't wrap my head around how this happened. I get that falling in love with someone new can feel exciting, even intoxicating. But what happens when the honeymoon stage with that guy ends? When she finally sees things clearly again? I've been feeling so many different things, too many. Anger, disappointment, confusion, sadness, you name it. I'm crushed by her deception, and yeah, I'm deeply hurt. But at the same time, I still believe the core of our marriage was something special, something real. Now, it's been 5 weeks since D-Day. Neither of us has filed for divorce yet. I haven't, and she hasn't either. I'm pretty sure she's still seeing the guy she was involved with, though. Honestly, at this point, I don't even know what to think anymore. Right now, I feel stuck between 2 conflicting thoughts. Part of me wants to try and save our marriage, but another part just wants to let it end. Honestly, at this moment, I don't even know if I care whether we get back together or go through with the divorce. I'm completely torn. If I go ahead and file now, Maybe I'll regret acting too fast later. But staying in this weird limbo, where we're still legally married but she's already walked away, feels unbearable. To be real, those first 4 days after she left were the worst. Back then, I still wasn't sure if she had been unfaithful or not. And during that time, the guilt was crushing. I kept asking myself if maybe I messed everything up somehow. But once she finally admitted to the deception, those feelings started fading. I'm not saying I was perfect, but I know for a fact that the end of our marriage falls squarely on her. She never showed signs she was unhappy. She always looked happy. I mean, she could have been an actress with how well she played the part. She never brought up being dissatisfied, never said anything needed to change, nothing. Then, on top of all that, she cheats. And she's still doing it. At this point, I just don't see a way back. Right now, I don't even miss her. Sure, sometimes I miss the us we used to be, who we were together, how we felt, but this person she's become, I barely recognize her. And honestly, I feel a little bad for the next guy. Because if he's anything like me, she's going to crush him the same way. It's like she's on a path of destruction and doesn't even realize it. Weirdly enough, I've been handling my mom's passing better than I expected. Yeah, there are other things going on in my life, but I was finally starting to feel like I was crawling out of the hole. I wanted to go outside again, grab some drinks, have a little fun, ride my motorcycle like I used to. And then, boom. Her deception shoved me right back into the pit. I know I'll be okay eventually, but I won't lie. I'm really dreading the holidays. No mom. No wife. My dad's on his own now after 40 years of marriage. It's going to be rough, but we'll manage. Life keeps going. And thankfully, I've got an amazing sister and a tight-knit group of friends I've known for over 2 decades. I'm nowhere near ready to start dating again. That's for sure. But, I'll admit, part of me is a little curious. It's been over 8 years since I went out on a date or even made plans without checking in with someone first. It's weird to even think about. This past year has taken me to the lowest place I've ever been, but I honestly believe better days are ahead. One Redditor made a solid point. Maybe we got married too young. I was 26, and she was only 21. I don't think I've changed all that much since then, but maybe she did. Maybe she's been pushing down those changes for years until they finally exploded all at once. And for the record, she's the one who said she feels like she's in the middle of a crisis. Those weren't my words. They were hers. To explain a bit more about us, I didn't dive into all the details earlier because the post was already long. But since it might help paint a clearer picture, here's more about what we shared. We both enjoyed gaming, although we rarely played together. I'm into Age of Empires 4 on my PC, and she usually played The Witcher on her PS4. We loved watching shows on Netflix, especially after my mom passed. That became our go-to way to relax. Even before all of this, we preferred staying in and watching a movie together instead of going out drinking. Still, we did get out sometimes, went to the movies, played pool, or grabbed dinner once or twice a month. We were both into motorcycles. I've had my license and a bike for a while, and she loved riding passenger. Her dad used to take her for rides when she was a kid, so I guess it was nostalgic for her. Now, out of nowhere, she says she wants her own license and bike too. I had no idea that was coming. Family time was important to us. Usually every other Sunday, we'd rotate visits between her mom and stepdad, her dad and stepmom, or my dad. We also liked driving out to the forest, bringing the dog along, and taking long walks in nature. Personality-wise, I used to love how impulsive she could be. Yeah, maybe now it's too impulsive, but back then, it balanced out my tendency to overthink everything, where I'd spend hours debating a purchase, checking our budget, weighing the pros and cons. She'd just go for it. Book the vacation I was hesitating about. Snag the thing she wanted. I found that kind of energy refreshing. We were opposites in a way that actually worked. I always appreciated her humor, too. We shared this goofy, dry, corny sense of humor that just clicked. We could laugh at the dumbest stuff, and it always brought us closer. I admired how honest and direct she used to be. She'd always tell me how she felt, what she liked or didn't like. Like, a few years ago, I got hooked on a video game and didn't realize how much time I was spending on it. After a few weeks, she sat me down and said, "Look, this isn't working for me. You need to pay more attention to us." And she was right. I cut the gaming way back after that. There were so many little things I adored about her. The way she walked, the way she laughed, even the way she'd sneeze, always 8 to 10 sneezes in a row like clockwork. It's funny, the random stuff that sticks in your head. But now, all those feelings are fading, fast. As for our physical relationship, I'll keep it brief. We didn't really have much of one. Not lately, anyway. We didn't have sex all that often, maybe twice a month on average since we got married. I always thought it was decent, though now I wonder how she really felt about it. We always seemed to finish together, unless she was faking, but I honestly don't think she was. That said, it wasn't exactly adventurous. We pretty much stuck to the same 3 or 4 positions and called it a night. Anyway, update from yesterday. I made some calls here in the Netherlands. We got something called a mediator, someone who handles everything related to divorce, legal stuff, finances, emotional guidance. It's like a one-stop shop for ending your marriage. Today, we had our first session with the mediator. Her car broke down, so I had to go pick her up, which, yeah, sucked. But if we want this process to move forward, we both have to be physically present at these meetings. No way around it. The session went how I expected. We both agreed that divorce was the path forward. Strangely, the whole deception part never even came up. Mediators here are neutral. They don't take sides, so I figured it wasn't worth bringing up. Besides, cheating doesn't really change anything legally here. She still has the same rights as if she'd been faithful. After the mediator left, we just sat there in silence. Our cats ran around the room, the only bit of life in that moment. A few minutes passed, and I looked at her and said, "Do you have anything left to say?" She just shook her head and said, "No." So I told her, "All right, then I think you should go. I don't want you here anymore." Then she asked, "Can you take me home?" I looked at her and said, "No. How you get home is your problem, not mine. I'm not about to drive 30 minutes after all this." She looked hurt. I could see it in her face. I think she really thought I'd cave and drive her like I always used to. In the past, I would have done anything for her. But that version of us is gone. She ended up calling her mom, who said she'd come get her in about an hour. My wife said she was going for a walk until her ride arrived. As she walked out, she still looked emotional, like this was somehow affecting her too. But even if there's part of me that still feels something, I'm doing my best to stay strong and shut those feelings down. Because the truth is, she's not the woman I fell in love with anymore. And honestly, right now, she means nothing to me. Quick side note that gives some context. I worked for a transport company, let's call it Supertrans, for 11 years. About 4 months ago, I left and started at a new job. My wife, though, still works at Supertrans in the office. I was a driver, she's behind a desk. And the guy she had the affair with, her affair partner, also works there, in the warehouse. Because I was there for over a decade, I know everyone at that office. Most of them liked me, and I was especially tight with a few of the dispatch guys. From what I know, her coworkers are aware that we're getting divorced, but as far as I can tell, none of them know about the affair. At least, not yet. Now, here's where I'm wrestling with something. My wife's desk buddy is a gay guy named Thomas. He's 3'2", and was one of my favorites at that office. He was also there the night she cheated. He left early, though. Thomas and I always got along great, and I know he cares about me. He'd want the truth. So, I'm seriously thinking about messaging him, telling him what really happened. Not to be dramatic, but to warn him. He works with her every day, and I feel like he deserves to know the kind of person she's revealed herself to be. I'd also tell him who the affair partner is, because he was part of that night out too. I know this might sound like revenge. And maybe, on some level, it is. She's put me through hell. And yeah, I won't lie. It'd feel good knowing her Monday at work turns into a nightmare when her coworkers finally find out what she's been doing. I mean, I knew these people for over 10 years. I earned those relationships. If I choose to tell them what happened, that's my call. So I guess I'm not even really asking if I should tell Thomas. I've kind of already made up my mind. But I'd still like to hear what others think, and why they'd agree or disagree. Also, thank you to everyone who's been offering support. You've been amazing. I won't lie. I'm mentally exhausted. But considering it's only been 6 weeks since my world flipped upside down, I think I'm holding up better than I expected. I do have one more question, though. It's about my soon-to-be ex's behavior lately. Is it normal for someone in the middle of an affair fog to treat everyone around them like garbage? Because outside of her affair partner and her parents, she's being cold and disrespectful to pretty much everyone else. She's been treating me like I was the worst husband ever. According to her, she's been miserable for years, though I honestly believe that's complete nonsense. At this point, I've made peace with how she treats me. It's her life she's wrecking, not mine. But it's starting to affect people around her too. My dad, for example, he's heartbroken. After my mom passed last February, my wife used to take him to an amusement park nearby. They both had season passes. He really loved her. Just a few days ago, he sent her what might have been the kindest, most heartfelt message he's ever written in his life, and she didn't even say thank you. Nothing. Just left him on read. She also promised she'd stay close friends with my younger sister, but it's been weeks, and they haven't talked at all. And today, she ghosted her best friend. That friend is someone we're both close with. They had plans to go out shopping and spend the day together. Her BFF messaged her several times yesterday asking if they were still on for today. No reply. She didn't even read the messages. This morning, same thing, no response, no read receipts. But her WhatsApp showed she was online after those texts were sent. She just ignored them. Her friend ended up crying all day. She even took the day off work to spend time with my wife and got completely blown off. It's heartbreaking to watch. And it raises the question, what the hell is going on with her? Is this really just a fair fog, or is it something deeper? As I sit here writing this, another thought comes to mind, and yeah, I probably already know the answer. She's going around telling people we split because we grew apart and that she hasn't been happy for years. That's the narrative she's spinning now. I guess it's pretty common for someone who's been unfaithful to go around spinning stories, making excuses instead of owning up to what really happened. Instead of admitting she fell for someone else and chose deception over honesty, she's out here telling people we just grew apart. Oh, and I almost forgot something important. Her best friend, who's also a mutual friend of ours, actually lived with us for about 6 months. That was from around November 2021 to April 2022. She had just gotten out of a terrible relationship and had nowhere else to go. We had a spare room, so we offered it to her. During that time, my wife and her BFF shared everything. They talked about everything under the sun, including our relationship and even our sex life. I still talk to her BFF every day. She's been honest, kind, and really supportive through all of this. At one point, I asked her if there was any truth to what my wife is now claiming, that she had been unhappy in our marriage for years. Her BFF flat out said, "No, that's a lie. Not once had my wife ever mentioned being unhappy to her." And remember, they told each other everything. So that leaves me with two possibilities. Either my soon-to-be ex is straight up lying now, maybe to justify the cheating and abandoning our marriage, or she somehow kept those feelings bottled up from everyone, even her closest friend. I honestly don't know. But based on what I saw, and what her best friend confirms, she never seemed unhappy. Thanks again to all of you. Your support has been incredible, and I truly wouldn't be in this better place now without it. And honestly, I hope karma catches up with her, sooner rather than later. Whenever someone asks me what happened between us, I don't sugarcoat it. I tell the truth. She deceived me and left for someone else. Just yesterday, a female friend showed me some texts my wife had sent her. The conversation went like this. Friend, oh my God, honey, is it true you and your husband separated? Wife, yeah, sadly it's true. Friend, new, what happened? Wife, well, we just grew apart. We've had different goals for the past few years and decided to end things. Yeah, no. I corrected that real fast. I told our friend the truth that my wife cheated, fell for another guy, or thinks she did, and left. Every single person I've told has been completely stunned. No one, not me, not anyone close to us, ever thought she was capable of something like this. Update 3. I'll probably post a new update in a few weeks, but for now, I'm doing okay. Once I came to terms with the fact that she's out there living her life without me, I started doing the same. We've talked a few more times since everything happened, and the conclusion is basically this. She says she still loved me, but that life wasn't fun anymore. Which, given that my mom suddenly passed away earlier this year, makes a twisted kind of sense. She claims she's in love with her affair partner, but says it's without strings. I never noticed signs of unhappiness, and even she now admits that she wasn't unhappy with me, just with life in general. So what I believe happened is, she cheated, developed feelings for him, and bailed. And when that became clear to me, I chose to stop holding on. I let her go and started putting all my focus into myself. Right now, I truly don't care what she's doing or if she ever tries to come back. I'm fine either way. Work's going well. I joined a gym and have been going 3 times a week. My muscles are constantly sore, but it feels good. I've also reconnected with an old childhood friend, a woman, and even though it's just a friendship, it's been comforting. She lost her dad last year, so we've been able to talk about grief and support each other. So yeah, I'm doing okay. As for the divorce, we had to round up a ton of paperwork and send it off to the mediator. Now we're just waiting to hear back so we can set the next meeting and move forward with the process. And I've already made my decision. This divorce is happening. Whether she wants to come back or not doesn't matter. The marriage is over. That chapter is closed. Update 4. In just 4 days, we're signing the divorce papers and making it official. It's been 4 months since my last update, and yeah, a lot's happened. I made some mistakes, but I also made some powerful moves that helped me get my self-respect back. And now, 5 months after it all ended and the shock wore off, I'm no longer that broken version of myself. At this point, I barely even think about the deception anymore. It hardly affects me. So to anyone out there going through something similar, believe me when I say, it does get better. Time really is your greatest ally. After the cheating and the breakup, I made a lot of mistakes. I begged. I pleaded. I got angry, frustrated, and felt like I had completely lost control while she seemed to have completely lost her mind. That phase lasted for about 2 months. But eventually, I made the decision to stop. No more whining, no more reaching out for closure. I told her that I had taken time to think, and I was still open to talking, even possibly exploring a future together. But I also made it clear I wasn't promising anything. Since then, for the past 3 months, I haven't contacted her at all, except for necessary things like the divorce paperwork, financial matters, or stuff related to our mutual home. That's it. No small talk, no relationship discussions. And no, I haven't been sitting around waiting. I'm 32 now, and for the first time in my life, I joined a gym. I've always been on the skinny side, but for the past 3 months I've been training hard, 4 times a week, every week, with full dedication. My body's changing, and I can see the difference in both muscle and appearance. But the benefits aren't just physical. When I started, it was mostly to distract myself. But now, the gym has become part of my healing. I feel stronger physically and mentally. I'm getting back the confidence I didn't even realize I had lost. So here's my personal tip. If you're going through a rough patch, start working out. It'll help more than you think, in every way. Now, about the house. I spoke to the bank, and I'll be able to take out a bit more on my mortgage so I can buy out my ex's share. I have to pay her about 65,000 euros, which doesn't feel great. But in the long run, I'll own a house worth around 300K. That's worth it. She, on the other hand, officially moved back in with her mom. Though from what I hear, she's also staying over at AP's place a lot. How do I know? Well, we have a mutual friend. We're not close, but we talk now and then. According to them, my ex basically jumped straight from our marriage into a full-blown relationship with AP. And sometimes, honestly, it feels like she's completely lost touch with reality. I try to keep my focus off her, but every now and then, my mind drifts. I guess by now I could call AP her boyfriend, because that's basically what he is. But I'll keep calling him AP, a fair partner, because that's how it all started. Anyway, karma seems to be kicking in. When she first got with AP 5 months ago, everything looked picture perfect on their end. But now, the cracks are starting to show. AP is at home dealing with depression. He's out of work. I know this for a fact because our mutual friend showed me texts between him and my ex. Even from day one, I always felt like I was the better man, more grounded, with stronger values, and now, more than ever, I know I was right. He's proving to be exactly who I thought he was: weak, selfish, and reckless. She left her marriage, our life together, for that? To make things worse, AP apparently introduced her to hard substances. I found that out through our mutual friend as well. I haven't said anything to her. What she does with her life now is her business, but it looks like she's spiraling fast. I'm pretty sure she's starting to question everything. Over the holidays, Christmas and New Year's, I didn't hear a word from her. But about a week into January, she randomly texted me, asking if I was home and if she could come by. She stopped in briefly, maybe 5 minutes. Told me she had spent Christmas alone, crying. She wanted to know how my holidays had been and asked how I was doing. I told her the truth. Christmas was okay, but not amazing. It was my first one without Mom, so of course it was bittersweet. But I also told her I was doing really well overall, because I am. The whole visit left me wondering, why would she care how I'm doing if she didn't have regrets? Shortly after that, I got a call from her mom. She phoned to wish me a Happy New Year. I wasn't expecting it, but it was actually kind of nice. After all, she was like family for 8 years. She told me my ex-wife hasn't been doing so well. Apparently, she's been crying a lot and told her mom, I wish it didn't have to be like this. That made me think, maybe she is starting to see the reality of what she threw away. But here's the truth. Only she can reach out and try to fix it, and at this point, I don't see that happening. The only power I have left is to give her what she asked for, a divorce, and keep walking. So that's exactly what I've done. I'm removing myself from her life. I'm giving her the divorce. And I'm making myself better, day by day. Sorry for the long post, but I think I finally got everything off my chest. For days from now, we're signing the papers. And even though I'm genuinely doing great, I'm still human. There are moments when I mourn what we had and who I thought she was. It hurts to see what she's become. But I also know that it's completely out of my hands now. And more importantly, it's not my problem anymore. To everyone who's been part of this journey and offered their support, thank you. Truly, I wouldn't be where I am now, mentally or physically, without your help.